Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, let me introduce myself. I can see some familiar faces. Yeah, okay. I'm glad to see you all today. My name is Valentina. I am 38, and I got a foot on the ladder about 18 years ago, and well, I am still relishing my choice. I'm currently working in a school. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so it's me. I'm currently working for a school called the Oxford Prime Academy. And this is just for you to understand what I'm doing, because it's very closely connected to the topic of our seminar today. By the way, what's the topic of our seminar? Just to check you're in the right place. What is it?
CLIL lessons, Clil. Oh.
Yes, absolutely. So you are in the right place. Okay. So I'm working for a British school called Oxford Prime Academy, and this is a tiny piece of Britain located in the center of Kiev. We are working according to the British curriculum, and all the subjects are taught in English. I have to say that before I started working for this school, I had always thought that Clil, as we call it, yeah, was outside my field. However, I was wrong. Now I feel very confident teaching these lessons. Before we start, could you take a sheet of paper and write down just 2-3 questions which you'd like to get answers to about Clil lessons? Just I will give you 1 minute, okay, to note down some questions. And we will see whether by the end of the seminar you will get these answers or not. Yeah, and if you don't, if you will still have some questions, I will answer them definitely. So 1 minute.
Can you write questions directly in the chat, not writing with a pencil?
No, better I write it on a piece of paper, because then I'm going to put you in breakout rooms, and you will share. You will find similar questions probably.
Okay, thank you. I've got the idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay, ready? Now I'm going to create breakout rooms. I'm going to place you like in 2 different rooms. I will not be able to hear you. So, and you will just have to communicate with each other, with the people inside your room, and discuss your questions, yeah, which you wrote. And maybe you will find some similar questions, okay? Then in approximately 2 minutes, I will take you back to our main room, okay? So you don't have to press anything, to click on everything. Maybe now when I try to create this room, this program will ask you, do you agree? So this is the only what you have to do, just to click yes, okay? So let's start.
Yeah.
Tathagata, yeah. Ah, Thomas, it's you. I will take you to room 1 to discuss the questions with everyone else, okay?
Sorry, how to go back to the room? I can't hear.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sorry. Now you can.
Mhm.
I'm not going
Just
to
one
ask
question.
you.
Can I ask one question?
Sorry?
Can I ask one question?
Yes,
So,
please.
yeah, I understand you are Valentina Popova. Is it correct? Because
Yes.
it
Yes,
is.
it's me.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks. I saw another name, so that's why was the
Yeah.
question.
Okay, so just keep these questions in mind, yeah? And in the end, if the questions are still unanswered, you will be given some time to ask them. Deal? Okay,
Yeah.
good. So now let's have a look at our agenda today. So first of all, we are going to have a discussion about the nature of Clil. Then I'm going to demonstrate a lesson. And then we'll have a short discussion about why Clil is vitally important. And finally, we'll try to plan a Clil lesson, your own Clil lesson. Okay, so first of all, look at this. Now look, this is like a riddle. What do these letters mean? What might they mean?
Some chemical, maybe elements.
Okay, yes, they look like aurum, yeah? It's silver, I remember from school. Any other ideas?
Or maybe the first two letters of Australia, and this is European Union.
Cool, you're very close. Okay, so AU, it's Australia. EU, it's Europe. Yeah. What else? What about
Africa.
A? Africa. What about NA?
North America.
Good. SA.
South America.
AN.
Antarctica.
AF.
Africa.
Oops, but we had Africa here. So this red one is what?
Asia.
Asia. So all together they make what?
Well, the world.
Parts of the world.
Continents. Yes, continents. So now I've got the following question. Do you like doing jigsaw puzzles?
Yeah.
Good. Are you going to just to try one now? Now I'm going to say a number and a name. So you will be given a number. Please try to remember it, okay? Julia, number 1. Okay, Kostya, number 2. Catherine, Ekaterina, number 3. Thomas, number 4. Ola, number 5. Nadia, number 6. Sergey, number 7. Who else? Sorry, Tatiana, yes?
We have 2 people here. Yeah.
She's
Okay.
also Katya.
Okay, Katya, and my number is 8. I understand.
Yes. Okay. Number 1, who is it?
I am.
Yes, number 2. Number 3. 3.
Me.
Okay, number 4.
That's me. Yeah.
5.
It's me.
5.
It's me. 5. Number 5. Anva.
7.
Sergey.
Okay,
Me.
8. Good. Now, through via chat, I'm going to send you some links. Please don't click anything now, okay? Just click on chat and see the links. When I say start, you're going to click on this link, yeah? To follow this link. But only when I say start. Now, please don't press anything. And as soon as you finish this jigsaw puzzle, you shout your name, okay? So everyone could hear who the winner is. Let's see who is the best in Trinity School at doing puzzles. Okay, so what do you have to do now when I say start?
To click the link.
the link.
Follow the link.
Any link you want?
No, my number.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so 1, 2. Has everyone found his link?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, start.
No, I don't see any.
So what's that?
Okay, you have to click on Control or maybe copy paste. Copy paste, yeah?
Real puzzle. Man. With my first.
Yeah, copy it and paste it into a new page in your internet browser.
my God.
Leave Darius.
Can you hear me?
Oh, come on, for God's sake.
What are we doing now? Are we in a group or?
No, you are doing it individually.
No, I just, there was a disruption and I just can't see any reference which you mentioned.
Click on chat. Yeah, chat
Yeah,
icon.
all right.
And there is your number. Choose your number. Copy it.
No, where should I choose it? Where should I choose it?
Message. Chat message.
Okay, chat message, right. All right, so
Yeah, Can you see this number? The list of links.
Where is it? No, it just in the chat or in?
Okay, I'm going to send it again. No worries.
I don't see any links or whatever.
Can you see them now?
Oh yes, now I see them, yes. Yeah, so I should follow this reference, yeah?
Yes, the number which you were given.
Yeah, but I mean just the reference is not active. So when I
copy
click
it and paste it into your internet browser page. Here you can highlight it. Yeah, you can highlight it. And then copy. Is anyone any close to the end?
Not yet.
Try to start from the borders. Leave the middle.
I have the first two words already, and some words in the middle.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to.
Okay, so Katerina was the first one. We've got a winner, and Julia also. Yeah. Please don't close this page. Okay, leave it.
About 70% ready.
I'm also ready.
Excellent, Nadia. Okay, while you're finishing, I'd like to ask you whether you can use this game in your lessons, just English lessons.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. Okay.
yeah.
I think that perhaps our students will be even better at this game and possibly quicker.
Yeah, and you can choose the number of puzzles. But you can choose the number of puzzles. Yeah, 24 was the easiest. Okay, Kostya, how is your progress?
Nearly done.
I've finished.
Good. Okay.
Dark.
And Thomas, what about you?
Well, Thomas is a bit slow on the uptake, so it will take some time.
Sergey?
No, not just in the middle somewhere.
Okay. Kate?
Otherwise,
Try from the borders, yeah? Borders.
I have problem in the middle. I understand actually what I need, but I don't see it.
Okay. So, you can go back to Zoom. Yeah, you can finish this puzzle a bit later. You can play a bit later. And now go back to the Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, done. Done.
Done. Okay.
Oh,
Что тебе?
Hallelujah.
Okay. And now. Good. So this is the message which you could see, yeah? If you finished the puzzle, this is the message which you could read. Well, this is one of the definitions of Clil, which is rather, well, acceptable for me, personally for me. But still, if you read it, it's still like a little bit vague, right? Let's discuss what it means, what this definition means, and I will give you some extra questions to discuss this matter. Okay. So, content and language integrated learning refers to teaching subjects through a foreign language. Okay. Look at the first question. What does the teacher focus on? Content or language?
Content.
Yes, the teacher focuses on content. What about the language?
Probably
Second.
language is a tool for presenting the content.
Absolutely. If we talk about traditional definition of Clil, language is just a tool. And what we focus on is just the content.
does it mean that we need to work more with terminology?
Terminology, and probably we are supposed to be deaf to the language mistakes. Yeah. Okay, let's get in deeper. So question 2. What do you think?
No, they are traditional language teachers.
Okay, do you agree?
Not really. In the CLIL, the teachers, the physics teachers or the chemistry teachers, they are traditionally they are physicists or they are specifically chemists or biologists. They are just teaching English. They are just teaching the language using English or any other L2 for that purpose. So they are not specialists. They are not traditionally English teachers per se or language teachers. No, not really.
Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, true. According to the traditional interpretation, teachers working with Clil are specialists in their own discipline rather than traditional language teachers. They're usually fluent speakers of the target language. They are sometimes bilingual or native speakers. in many institutions, language teachers work in partnership with other departments to offer CLIL in various subjects. Okay, the next question. What's your
Probably
take
yes,
on
if we are here, we're about to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. You can include, you can make a whole CLIL lesson, or you can include just bits. Yeah, it's also possible. Okay, the next question. What about this, question 1?
Mhm.
It's exactly the same when you integrate some subject into other subjects. For example, some elements of physics and medicine in usual lesson of English.
Okay. Learning about other things in English helps our students to learn English, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is what the cross-curricular approach is. A teacher can integrate aspects of geography, for example, or history, or music, art, anything.
What does it mean?
Now let's think.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What does it mean? For example, geography. I just can mention the capital of one country, or I need to give detailed explanation. What does it mean?
Okay, this is approach, right? So it's the whole like ball of like activity, at least activity, right? We focus, we still focus on what? On the language or or content?
Language.
No, on the
Here
fact.
okay, a cross-curricular approach. This is when we focus on the language. So this is, look at the second question, the difference between CLIL and cross-curricular approach. What's the difference? Yeah, they are quite similar, but CLIL focuses on content, while cross-curricular approach focuses on the language primarily. Now let's think what we are going to do. We are English teachers, right? And we hardly have any knowledge, any deep knowledge of geography or history to teach to, especially to adults, yeah, who are aware of many things. So what do you think we are going to do? Are we really going to teach CLIL or just use the cross-curricular approach?
Well, it will be probably it will be more of a cross-curricular approach rather than the CLIL. Because we are not supposed to be physicists or chemists, right? While teaching chemistry or physics in L2.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree. But what I have to say is CLIL is often seen as an umbrella term, a term covering aspects of bilingual education. So what we do in like in Ukraine and in other countries, CLIL, it's we see CLIL as a cross-curricular approach. So we think that it's the same, yeah. But now you know that there are two different terms. Okay.
For example, can you give you an example for right understanding? No, for instance, I have a lesson given directions here, and if I teach my students not only the words, but I teach them simple skills, for example, how to draw a simple map, how to commute to their work, or for example, I have a lesson about traveling, and I teach them how to find a polar star in the sky. Is it clear or not?
Excellent question. the difference is in the aims of your lesson. What are the primary aims of your lesson? Do you want to teach them language or do you want to teach them something else?
But in modern lessons of English, we need to balance both. So we need to teach not English, but something else.
What do you mean not English, but something else?
Not only English, I mean.
Okay, it depends on what you're going to focus in your lesson, right? If you focus on the language, it will be a language lesson, but it will be cross-curricular approach, yeah? We know that. But if you focus on something else and you forget about the lesson, about the language, like this is what I do usually. I teach geography, history, math, science, and I just English is English. This is when I can concentrate on the mistakes, on the spelling mistakes, and so on. But in other subjects, I forget about mistakes. I concentrate on their fluency. Yeah, I want them to be able to speak their mind. And I have to say that I don't know what now at the moment, I don't know for me what is more important, to teach them about the surrounding world, to give them new information, new knowledge, or to teach them English. Because, well, I am an English teacher. I have always been an English teacher. Now I'm teaching Clil, and surprisingly, I like it. I like to teach not only English, but a lot of things apart from English about the world. And now I don't understand, really don't understand what is more important for me. And you know what? I get a nice bonus. My students are very fluent in English. They can, maybe they make mistakes, but they can speak fluently. This is what we do when we teach them Clil. Yeah, Clil lessons. Okay, good. Any more questions? Have I answered the previous question? Kate?
Actually, when you explain that the priority actually is on the language, everything became clear.
Okay, when you plan a lesson, yeah, you think about the aims, about the outcome of the lesson. For example, I say, okay, by the end of the lesson, my students will have learned this and this. What will have they learned? Will have they learned about geography? Or they will have learned some how to describe forests, for example. Yeah? This is my aim. What they will know by the end of the lesson. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Now let's look at this. So you, some of you finished the podcast, some of you haven't, but this is what you get. Which continent do you see now?
Europe.
Okay, and we can read the message at the same time, right?
Yes.
So look, similarly to that, like we look at the picture through the words. This is what we do when we teach Clil lessons. We just look through the words. We don't focus on them. We just focus on something else. Yeah? Which continent is that?
Well, Africa.
Africa.
Again, we can see the picture. We don't concentrate on the words. They are just our tool. What about this?
North America.
North
Mm-hmm.
Asia.
Asia.
South America,
South America.
Australia, and Antarctica. Good. Now you're going to observe my lesson. Yeah, I will be short. I will try to be short. But during the lesson, while I'm teaching, you are going to be my students, of course. Your task is to answer 2 questions. What's the aim of the lesson? Like, this is what Kate asked me. Yeah. What is my aim? What do I have to teach? Yeah. And the second question is the stages. Of course, you can note down something while looking. Okay. So let's see. First, you're going to watch a video. Your task is just to answer 1 question. What do you see? So what's the question? What question do you have to answer?
What do you see?
What we see?
Yes, right. Okay. So, what was that?
The continents
Evolution.
are moving.
Okay. Right. And what do we call that? Do you know the name for that?
Evolution.
Okay. Could be. Good guess. Okay.
Geology processes.
Sorry?
Geology processes.
Formation.
Excellent. Formation. Formation of what? Formation of?
The continent.
Excellent. Okay. Now I suggest that we look at the map of our world. Look, if you look carefully at the map, you will notice that some pieces, they fit like puzzles, yeah?
Yeah.
Especially if we look at certain parts of the world, like the eastern coast of South America and west coast of Africa. What do you think?
Yeah.
They were separated.
Probably.
Yeah,
used to be-
probably. Look, it's like a puzzle which you have done, yeah? Here also, yeah, we can find some similarities. But I have to tell you that you are not the first who noticed that. People have known it for hundreds of years. Most people just took it for granted, and that was the way the continents look, they thought. But there were some brave scientists who thought there must be something more. One of these scientists was Alfred Wegener. Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This man was a German meteorologist, and he studied weather. He suggested that the continents were once connected and then somehow ripped apart to where they are today. He thought the continents were moving. Of course, people at that time thought it was a silly thought to have. And Wegener devoted his whole career to study it and came up with proofs of that radical idea. Well, in fact, Wegener didn't think that the continents were moving. He actually believed there was time when they were all connected, and they have since drifted apart to their current locations. He came up with a name for that supercontinent.
Gondwana.
Pangaea.
Mhm.
Pangaea. This supercontinent existed 250 million years ago. Pangaea is a Greek term that means entire Earth, and which is the exact word. If you look at this continent, it's really like entire, yeah, entire Earth. People thought that Wagner was a little bit better. He knew if he was going to make any headway with this idea, he had to find evidence. And we are going to take a look at 4 pieces of evidence which he presented. Now, have you got any ideas what pieces of evidence he presented?
The shape of continents, maybe.
Excellent. We have already discussed it. Yeah, isn't it a piece of evidence? Yes, excellent. What else?
Maybe he managed to find some drawings of ancient astronomers.
Wow, excellent idea. But okay, but which age are we talking about now? How many years ago?
I mean, the period of science.
250 million years ago. Well,
yes.
But maybe scientists in the past, or scientists or somebody else drew, yeah, made these maps. Okay, could be. Good guess. What else? Any other ideas?
Maybe by some fossils, finding some fossils. Right?
Wow, cool idea. Yes, okay, great idea.
Or maybe also the same species of animals on different continents.
Excellent ideas. Okay, anything else? Okay, good. Let's move on and look at evidence 1. Actually, we have already discussed it. It's the observation that continents appear to fit together. As simple as that. That's it. Wagner didn't believe it could be a coincidence. And we call this evidence the apparent fit of the continents. Yeah, this is the first evidence which he presented. Okay, let's sum up. The coastlines of the continents appear to fit together like pieces of a puzzle. But of course, at that time, there were a lot of skeptics, and we said that he was considered to be a little bit batty. What would the skeptics say?
Just a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them fit in the right way.
Right, this is exactly what they said. It's just a coincidence. Excellent, yes. Okay, then Wagner went back to the drawing board. He dug through piles of books in libraries and got interested in fossils. Sergei, good. So it was your guess. And other evidence of prehistoric life. He got particularly interested in Mesosaurus. This is the ancient reptile that lived only in shallow fresh water. What's interesting though is there are only 2 places in the world where we can find fossils of this freshwater creature. One place is the eastern coast of South America, and the other place is the western coast of Africa. Now, again, let's pretend you are the skeptic. What would you say?
Sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
You are the skeptics, yeah? So Wagner presented this evidence, but you are the skeptics, right? You don't believe it. So your task is to ruin this theory. What would you say?
Well, the first thing that I would say that, so what? It's just a coincidence.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Yeah, maybe some other parts of the world have not been explored just deeply, so to say. That's why you couldn't find any other fossils, or maybe if you explore more extensively, you can find the same or equal fossils somewhere else.
Interesting. Okay, could be. Mm-hmm. What else?
The best way is to destroy his reputation, because his specialty was in zoology. So maybe he made a mistake while he was finding this kind of fossils.
Well, he didn't find the fossils themselves,
Okay,
but
still, so he's
okay.
trying to fit everything into his theory, and he is making up something, exaggerating.
Okay. Well, actually, skeptics, what they did, they suggested that these creatures could somehow fly. And they, first they lived on one continent and they just flew to another continent. But the evidence that these creatures could fly, they are not there. People never found this evidence. Next, what they say, they said that this creature could swim all this distance to get from one continent to another continent. But there is one but. Who can guess?
You've told us they live in a shallow water.
Shallow and fresh water. Excellent, yes. And the distance is just too great, yeah? Next, they suggested that the water here between these two continents, it was frozen, and they could just walk across. So what do you think was the evidence, was the answer? The evidence that there was ice was never found. This was there. Okay. Next. Moreover, Wegener said he found there were other organisms that lived in the past and had similar fossils distributions. These fossils all have one unique distribution pattern, patterns that suggest that the continents were once together. So on this slide, you can see that he found more than just one Mesosaurus. Yeah. Okay. We call this evidence fossil correlation. So what was the first evidence again?
Continents fit.
What do we call it?
The parent fit of the continents.
Yes, and this one is called fossil correlation. Okay, let's move on. Evidence 3. Wegener knew that he needed a stronger case. That wasn't still enough. So he went back to the library and became fascinated by rocks and geologic structures like mountain ranges of the past. He found a really interesting pattern, not unlike what he found in the fossils. If you look at the mountain ranges in the northeast of the USA and the mountain ranges in the north of Europe, you will find that they match up perfectly. Again, skeptics, you are skeptics, what would you say to ruin this evidence? Could you say that they were of different age, the mountains were of different age? And
I would say they're completely different, and he would have to prove that they're the same, something like this.
Okay, thank you. So, and maybe could be that they are made of different types of rocks, yeah? But in the reality, they are made of the same type of rock, and they are the same age. So this was his third evidence. Good. So the first evidence was again?
The apparent fit of the continents.
The next one?
Correlation.
Fossil correlation. And the next one, rock and mountain correlation. Let's sum up. Identical rocks and mountain structures have been found on either side of the ocean. But again, Wagner thought that wouldn't be enough, and he returned to the library, and this time he returned to the roots as a meteorologist. He began to look at past climate data, meaning he looked at the evidence of cold and warm weather in different parts of the world. And he found something fascinating. He first looked into glaciers. They are giant rivers of ice that move slowly across the Earth's surface. Of course, glaciers have to be found in cold parts of the Earth. Today, they are restricted to high mountain tops and, of course, the North and South Poles. They move. When they move over the rock beneath, they leave evidence in the form of scratches, which we call glaciers striations. If you look at the map of the present day tropical, rainforests, rainforests of, again, the same continents, South America and Africa, you will find glaciers striations, scratches in the bedrock. Skeptics, what would you say to ruin this evidence? That so we concluded that there was ice once in the tropical rainforest, right? What would you say for that? It's difficult to find anything to say, right?
It's difficult to find anything to say when you know the truth, that he was right, actually.
Okay, let's move on then. So these continents weren't always in their warm equatorial regions like they are now. They were once down near the South Pole, where it could have been cold enough to have glaciers, and then they since drifted apart. Wagner wanted more, even more, from this climate data. So he began to explore a little deeper, and that's when he came across this rock. This is a sedimentary rock called bituminous coal. We know it because we burn it for energy, and it's the fossil fuel. Does anyone know how it is formed?
It's remains of ancient Greece formed under the pressure.
Absolutely. Compacted plant remains. Please picture tropical plants like this dying on the forest floor and getting compressed for over 1 million years to form coal. So it takes them a long time. Let's look at where this kind of coal is found on Earth. So what do you notice? Antarctica, Northern Europe, Northern Asia, southern tip of Africa and Australia, and the northern USA. There aren't tropical climates. And yet they have coal, which is the evidence of a past tropical climate. Evidence 4 is called paleoclimate data. To sum up, coal has been found in cold regions, and glacial evidence has been found in warm regions. So these are the 4 pieces of evidence which Wegener presented. Now, I'd like you to go to Kahoot. Does everyone know how to use Kahoot?
No.
No.
Okay, let's skip it. Let's skip it for now. We don't have much time. You can just copy, anyway, you will have this material after the session. You will have this material and you can try. It's a game. There are some questions, true, false questions, or you have to choose A, B, ABC, or A, B, C, D. Okay, so let's pretend that you could play this game, yeah? There are 13, I think, questions. And you, your task was to answer these questions. Okay, so you have done that, right? Next, I'd like to ask you to finish my sentences. You can write down the answers, okay?
Okay.
So the first one is, Pangaea is a Greek term and means, so you can write down 1 word, 2 words, a whole phrase, maybe even a sentence, okay? Pangaea is a Greek term and means something, yeah? You write down. Next, number 2. Wegener's first piece of evidence was, and continue.
Can you repeat the second, please?
Yes, Wegener's first piece of evidence was. Number 3. Wegener's second piece of evidence was.
Okay.
Next, Wegener's third piece of evidence was. And the last, Wegener's fourth piece of evidence was. Ready, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The next step, if it was a real lesson, I would create breakout rooms again, and I would pair you up, and you would discuss the answers, and you will try to reconstruct the information, okay, in pairs. Then I would take you back in our common room. Now we're not going to do it because we'd better save time for something else, okay? Mm-hmm. So let's discuss all together very fast. So the first question was, what was it?
Poland.
The name of the continent before they broke apart.
Excellent. Has anybody, does anybody have any other variants?
The
Yeah, the
whole
whole
one.
one.
And here, what was it?
Okay, and Kate said?
I said the translation from Greek which you mentioned.
Yes, entire Earth, right?
Yeah.
Excellent, good. The second question.
Apparent feet of the continents.
What was the first evidence?
Okay, any other answers?
Continents feet.
Yeah, okay. Good, let's move on. The second piece of evidence was
Fossils correlation. Someone was taking notes. Oh, by the way, question. This kind of class, so students, do they need to take notes or not? Because I took notes and for me it's very easy. I just need to read. That's why like a question. Do they need to memorize or take notes?
it's up to them, really. If I was teaching like a real class now, yeah, it would be up to them. Of course, yeah, of course, okay, we are going to discuss about the aims of the lessons, right? But yeah, probably they would want to take notes. Okay, so the second piece of evidence was which kind of fossil correlation, yeah? And what does it mean?
Well, similar fossils found in different parts of the continent.
Good. Just one continent or?
Well, two of them.
And you were absent continents.
And even some fossils, yeah, more than two. Okay. The third piece of evidence.
Rock and mountain correlation.
Okay, mountain correlation. What do you remember? Which two continents were involved?
Different mountain ranges. They were formed of the same rock, and their shape also fit together.
America, England, and Scandinavia.
South America.
Yeah. Okay, good. And the last piece of evidence?
It's like paleoclimate date or something like this.
And what does it mean?
It means that some fossil fuels that were formed under the similar climatic conditions, they were found on different continents. And,
what exactly? He made two parts, yeah? Which two parts?
You mean what? They were rainforest, or what do you mean?
He found coal, yeah? Where?
Yeah,
coal?
in South Africa, for example, and in Antarctica.
Excellent, yes. And it means that?
They were joined together in ancient times.
And they were once tropics, right?
Yeah.
And he also found not only coal, but what? About glaciers, something.
Some traits of like cracks in the ground.
Yes.
Because of movement of glaciers.
Yeah, remains, yeah? Good, excellent, good. And the next task of our lesson would be the following. Use the information which we have just discussed today and try to predict what our planet will look like in about 50 million, 100 million, 250 million years. What do you think?
Yeah, there is a theory that the poles, that's like the southern pole and the north pole, that they can move from their places. So they can change, like south in the north and north in the south.
Okay.
And maybe parts of some continents they will be underwater.
Excellent. Okay. So, but if we know that continents move, so how else can they move? Will they separate from each other, or what? What will happen?
No, if they are separating from each other, it means that in some time, other of them will join together.
Okay, excellent. So they, okay. Anything else to add? Any other predictions? What's going to happen to our continents?
Now, maybe even some continents can be broken and can be disintegrated in several parts.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I will share a video of what some scientists think will happen to our continents to our planet in 250 million years time. Yeah, I will send it to you, so if you're interested you can watch it. And the next and the final question is, what would happen if Pangaea didn't break into continents? What would the climate be like? Let's imagine it's one.
Probably the same.
Sorry?
Probably the same climate, I think.
The same climate as now. So tropical rainforests would remain tropical rainforests. Sahara would remain the Sahara, yeah?
Yeah, because you can see, we also have like a North Pole and South Pole. Even if they're combined together, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, interesting idea. Very interesting. Any other ideas? Julia, what do you think?
Actually, I think it would be absolutely different. I think, I don't know, one climate, I think it's impossible. So maybe changeable. I'm not sure.
Okay, let's imagine it will be like a whole piece of land, yeah? And it will be, what will be here?
Ocean.
Yes,
Ocean,
right.
current.
So let's think now. We know about the water cycle, yeah? What do you think would happen? Would rains reach this spot?
But the central part probably will be hotter, so more arid climate in the center.
Excellent idea, yeah. And would it rain here more?
Perhaps yes.
Yes. So this spot would be arid and this spot would be tropical, right? Probably. Good. Thank you. Okay. So this was the end of the lesson. Yeah, and we have just 5 minutes to discuss the aims of the lesson and the stages of the lesson. Would you like to be grouped and discuss these things in groups?
Yep.
Okay, great. I am giving you just 2 minutes to discuss. Okay, so what are you going to discuss again?
The aims.
The aims of the lesson and what else?
Stages.
Stages of the lesson. Okay, you will have 2 minutes and then I will take you back, okay?
Okay.
You probably have to click on something to accept. Nadia and Kostya, would you like to join? Nadia? Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Okay, so now let's discuss together. What was the aim of the lesson?
Well, the aim of the lesson was origin of our Earth, how everything came about, yeah, and giving the students a brief idea of related to the origins, yeah, and basically in a nutshell, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Any other ideas?
Maybe not origin, but actually the formation.
Well, yeah, the origin.
Okay.
And maybe something connected with climate, like because like in conclusion they had to predict. So you asked about climate, so maybe also this kind of things that what kind of influences on our climate.
Okay, now I'm reading what I noted down about the aims of the lesson. By the end of the lesson, my students will have been aware of the continental drift theory, of Alfred Wegener's study, and the 4 pieces of evidence he found. So it's basically what you have just mentioned, yeah? So did I focus on the language?
No.
Absolutely, yeah? I ignored it. Okay, could my students, do you think my students, well, obviously you, could guess something, some words, maybe if you heard some terms, terminology, could you guess what it means?
Surely from the context, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next, let's discuss the stages. What were the stages?
Lead in first.
Well, yes.
Okay, what was the lead-in?
The video.
Okay, and next?
Followed by a few CCQs. I think they were there. There were quite a few concept checking questions. What do the students know about it? Whether they have some prior knowledge on this topic.
Okay, okay. Good. What else?
Presentation of the main material.
Excellent. Who said that? What's the name?
Presentation, it was me.
Okay. Presentation of the new material. How did I do it? How did I present the new material?
Slides, videos, demonstrations, and so on.
Yeah.
Like visual, basically.
Exactly. Did I try to involve you?
You did.
Yeah.
Or was it just lecture?
No.
It was interactive.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a kind of discussion as well. So it was very interesting.
Okay. Good. And what other ways of presentation can they be?
Screen sharing.
Screen sharing to do what?
Possibly just to show some slides and.
Yes, so slides, presentation, yeah, PowerPoint presentation, it's one way, and to lead a discussion, right?
Yeah.
What are other ways to present new information? So it's discussion, it's like a lecture, yeah, the teacher talks. What else?
To ask them to find something in Google.
Okay, or we can suggest them to watch a video, right?
Yeah.
Would it be a presentation of new material if I showed you a video?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, it could be. Sure. Why not?
If I gave them an article to read, new information, would it be also new?
Sure,
yeah.
A text-based presentation.
Yeah, also, yes, text-based, yeah. Good, so we present new material, right? I opted for this variant because, well, I kind of didn't want you just to sit and swallow everything you are given. I wanted to interact with you, to talk to you, and to think critically, maybe what would skeptics say, right? Good. So this was the second part. What was 3? After presentation, what was the next part?
Test.
Sorry?
Test or a game plus a test.
Good. And what do we call that part? Have you ever heard of this term?
Yeah, it was practice. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, it was practice. So P, the first P stands for what?
Practice.
Presentation. I presented new material. The second P stands for what?
Practice.
We practiced. What were the steps in the practice? What was the first step?
The question.
Guessing.
Yeah.
We actually didn't do it, but I asked you to pretend that you did it to save time.
A game.
Kahoot test.
Yes.
Yeah. I explained that there were true false questions or A, B, C, D. Okay, just to check how well you understood this information. Good. What was the next step in presentation?
Practice.
In practice, sorry.
Oh, it was the test, which was the controlled practice. Kind of, you gave us a list of 13 questions or 12 questions, and we were supposed to answer to them, right? I mean, the first evidence, second evidence, third evidence.
Yes, excellent, yes. Why did I arrange it like this? Kahoot, first Kahoot, and then this test, yeah, which you had to write down the answers, and then you did what? What did you do with the answers?
Well, we wrote our own words, right? We filled in the
Yes.
gap.
And then you discussed. I told you that if it was my real class, I would break you into breakout rooms, and you would discuss these answers in pairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why did I arrange it like this? First Kahoot, and then this writing down the answers and discussion.
Well, because Kahoot is basically made by you, so the options of correct answers are limited, and that leaves no scope for imagination by the students. So it was a highly controlled practice. Then we moved on to a semi-controlled practice, and students discussed it. That was a freer practice.
Excellent. Yes, thank you. So first it was passively, yeah, passively answering the questions. Yes, and it was very controlled. In Kahoot, in this program, I would be able to see all your mistakes, all your answers, and I would know what to concentrate more on. Then just semi-controlled practice, where you had to write down the endings of the sentences, right, and discussed, give like explicit and more explicit answers. Good. And finally, the fourth stage would be
production.
So these are the three P's: presentation, practice, and then production. What was the production in my case?
You asked us to predict something, isn't it? I mean, how would it be after 250 million or 500 million years or something like that? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Excellent. Okay, so now let's look at the structure of this Clil lesson. Actually, I can say that this is the typical Clil lesson. We present something, then we practice this information, and then we have production, yeah? Some product. Aren't these stages similar with our English lessons?
They are.
We are doing the same, yeah? It's just, what is different? What is different?
We focus on the meaning.
Absolutely right. Yes. What we focus on? Do we focus on the language or do we focus on the content? Yeah. Okay, so we concluded that the stages are basically the same as our English lessons have. Good. Next, what I wanted to ask you, let's what would you start planning your own lesson, your Clil lesson? What would you start with? Well, actually, I have to accept it's a lot of work. For an English teacher, it was a lot of work. What was the first stage? What do you think? When I was planning my lesson, what did I think about first?
Look for information, probably do some research.
Okay.
If you don't have a course book you need to follow, you need to choose an interesting topic.
Okay, by the way, you have your course books, right? Do you think you can fit in this lesson, this type of a lesson, anywhere in the middle of your course book?
Not really.
Yes, you can, but no need for that.
Okay, here we are coming to the very interesting topic of advantages of these types of lessons. Okay, I suggest that we discuss the advantages of these types of the lesson, and then we will discuss how often we can present these types of the lesson. Okay, so what might the benefits, some benefits of this type of lesson be? Just let's brainstorm, say some benefits.
It's a practical application of English.
Absolutely, right.
It's easier
So
to overcome the psychological barrier of...
Exactly. Look, I can tell you about my students. They are kids, but still, I think it will work with adults as well. With teenagers, it definitely works. And also, okay, people forget about making mistakes. Yeah? They have something to tell you, some information, and they start speaking. They want to give the message. And very often adults are afraid of making mistakes. And this type of lesson, this type of lesson helps them forget about this. Here we concentrate on fluency. And it works, it really works. Good, any other advantages?
Well, since the very process of Clil involves a lot of integrative skills, I would say that different learner styles are integrated. So it works for visual learners, it works for kinesthetic learners. So a lot of different learner styles can be integrated. So it's kind of a one-size-fits-all thing. I mean, it fits everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
It's really engaging.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Do you think your students will like such types of lessons?
They will.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Games, discussions, no rules. Yeah. Obviously, they stop panicking about making mistakes. They relax and they just enjoy learning something new and just relax. Yeah. But at the same time, they are learning. Okay. So engagement, right? What else?
Well, since it's more of a rather, well, to put it like this, it's more of a lexical approach to learning, I would say. So the language which the learners are exposed to is more of a functional kind of a language and not dictated as specifically by the context. So, I mean, in their turn, they will become more fluent. Yes. It will take some time, but yes, they will gather fluency much more than a text-based lesson or a grammar-based lesson. Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you the list of the benefits which I found on the internet. Let's look them through, and but they are not just from the point of view of a student, but also from the point of view of a teacher and the whole school in general. Let's see. if you have some questions, you're welcome to ask. We're going to discuss, yeah? I like especially this one. Gives feelings of professional satisfaction and cooperation to teachers. And that's true.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but you have a lot, you as a teacher have to invest a lot of your time, energy, knowledge.
Of course, yeah, and the teachers have to do their own research. Do you think I was an expert in this topic which we discussed today, continental drift? Okay.
Yeah, but what if we accidentally teach them something wrong, some wrong concepts, or like we aren't experts after all, so.
Exactly, we all are people and we all make mistakes. Just think critically. Of course, you will not teach them to eat, I don't know, to eat something which is not edible, right?
Я прошу прощения, это Татьяна Исаева, я вклиниваюсь в ваш разговор. Дело в том, что администратор поставил конференцию на 1,5 часа, и если выключится конференция, ну, такое может быть, я не знаю по опыту. Это первое. И второе, у Константина сейчас урок.
Okay, I'm sorry. So,
да. Вы можете продолжать, я просто напоминаю, чтобы не забыл.
Okay, so do we have 2 minutes?
Of course, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry for interrupting you. Just
that's fine.
Important information.
Okay, so somebody has got a lesson, yeah?
Konstantin.
Okay. So have you got any questions about these benefits?
No.
Do you want to comment on anything or ask something?
No, it was pretty clear.
Are you teaching
Yes.
these Clil lessons on biology or other subjects as well?
Okay, it's an interesting question. Look, we all, for example, I will give you an example. We all teach the topic food, yeah? All levels, elementary, pre-intermediate, intermediate, all levels, advanced, CPE, all levels, right? Food. Let's find some connections which we can make with the topic food. For example, zoology, which can be connections?
Connection of zoology
Types
with
of
food,
meat.
you mean?
So
Yes, zoology and food, why not?
Yeah, different species, they eat food, they consume it, they digest food. But
Absolutely, right.
My particular question was not about this, so it was for you. So why did you use this topic for us? Is it your favorite Clil subject or not?
Well, this.
So you told us that this really is very engaging for you, and I totally agree with you. It is interesting to teach English on some particular topic.
Well, I don't only teach geography and history. I teach science and math and reasoning, and I love also. You can't imagine how much I like math. I love teaching math, and yeah, it's really like for me.
Thank you for not choosing math lesson for us today.
Well.
Well, maths lessons can also be done using the CLIL approach.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. So we let's go back to topic food. We all teach topic food. So zoology clear, yeah. We can animals. Next, this food chain, yeah. We can teach about food chains. Next, let's say botanics.
Botany?
Food and botanics.
Sure.
Yeah, all
So we
right.
can grow
Plots
this food
used for
from
food.
cereals, from fruits, and
Food and geography.
Surely. Yeah.
Yeah, what people eat, different continents.
Absolutely. Where tomatoes come from, how sushi appeared, right? History.
Well, yes.
historical traditions in Indian food.
Yeah, for example, tea drinking in Japan or something, yeah? Good. So what you have to do, you have to just look properly where you can fit this lesson. Because you've got homework, yeah? Did Tatiana tell you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this will be your, of course, I'm going to help you. So don't worry, you are not in a trouble. You can ask me for advice. Just think about where to start. For example, the next week, choose a level and choose the topic, yeah? Well, you have the topic, right?
Which one?
Think about what interesting extra material, new, something new which your students don't know, what you can give to your students.
And what's the topic?
It's your topic, which you teach. For example, Kate, what do you teach now? Well,
so we can
choose one level.
Ourselves.
Sorry?
We can choose the topic on our own.
Yes, or you can just integrate it into your present topic, what you are teaching now.
Okay.
For example, if it is crime, you can choose some statistics about crimes. Yeah.
I mean that it is not the same topic for everybody. I can choose it myself.
Yes, yes. It has to be just the topic which you are teaching now. Yeah. Okay. For example, Kate, what would you choose? Which level? Ekaterina.
Ah, me?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, pre-intermediate.
And what?
But no, maybe it's too low. No?
That's fine. That's fine. And what are you doing now there with lecture?
Transport, for example, on the road.
Excellent. What topics can you suggest? Clil topic.
I don't know.
History of transport in Europe. Is that fine?
Maybe. I need to do some research to understand how easy it is for me to grasp then.
Yes, exactly. You have to search the internet to find interesting videos, to find, to do some reading, to just, yeah? What about you, Sergey? Which level would you choose?
Yes, probably pre-intermediate or intermediate, yeah. Because for upper intermediate, it would organize this kind of lesson because people are eager to talk there and they can talk, right? And they can discuss. And pre-intermediate, it's just a kind of difficulty.
But do you think it would help them to talk?
Yes, yes, of course it would.
Excellent.
Yeah, just
okay, and which
this.
topic?
Which topic?
Yeah.
The one which I'm having now is, let me see. All right, it's just entertaining. Entertaining.
Wow,
right?
such a cool topic.
Not entertainment, but entertaining. Guest, right? Or just foreign partners or your business partners.
Okay. Do you have anything on your mind, like what you can suggest?
Yes, right. What can be suggested? Okay. Yeah, like you mentioned, okay, there is a question which might be interesting. There is a question between, so when you entertain your business partners, right? It's in some aspects, it's rather sensitive topic when it is just, can an entertainment be regarded as a bribe or bribery, right? So one of the issues which is raised there, right? So This
Yes,
is
it can.
one
Okay,
of the
I'm sorry for interruption because I have a class very soon. What's the home assignment? Because yes, we have chosen the topic. Okay, and what do we do next?
Plan a Clil lesson
So
and try to teach it.
And lesson, it's 1 hour, 20 minutes or not?
Honestly speaking, I don't know. We have to talk to Tatiana. Tatiana, what do you think? Yeah, okay, let it be 1 hour and 20 minutes. Yes. Okay, and
Татьяна здесь 80 минут.
80 minutes, yeah.
I'm sorry, 80 minutes, yes.
yeah, but what is going to be? What do you want to get from us, so to say, right? Should it be a lesson which we are going to just demonstrate or what?
No, to
Or
plan.
just
Plan. And
okay, I see.
just try to teach it. Try to implement this knowledge into your lesson. Yeah. Try to plan it properly, like PPP. Yeah, and you will be told where to send your lesson plans and materials, please. Okay, is it doable?
Yes.
Possible.
Yeah. Good. It was a pleasure to meet all of you. And what the last thing I'd like to ask you to do is, could you just leave feedback for me, just for me, for my skills to improve as a speaker and as a methodologist? Okay, could you scan this QR code and it will take you just 1 minute, I promise.
Can you give me the link if I cannot scan?
Oh yeah, of course. I will give it to you right here.
Yeah, I see it. Thank you.
Can you show the code, please? Again?
Yes, yes. You can do it after the end of our session because we are running late.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, are you done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last thing to say is thank you for your attention.
Can I ask you one technical question? Just short one.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, just I mean, with regard to this Zoom, right? You were breaking us into these breakout rooms.
Yeah.
Do you need a special version of Zoom for this, or it's an ordinary Zoom version?
No, unpaid version doesn't allow you to do that. It's only in paid.
Just paid
I
version,
think,
yeah?
actually, I'm not an expert, honestly speaking, and
No,
my
it's
school
done
is
only
using.
in the paid version. It's only
in a paid version. Okay.
Okay. So bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So thank you really for a wonderful lesson. It was really refreshing for me.
Well, I really hope you got the inspiration to do that. That was my main aim, the aim of the session, for you to get inspiration to do something new.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Valentina. Have a great one.
You managed to do that.
Да, спасибо.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Все знают, как выходить из конференции?
Leave meeting in the right corner. In the bottom right corner. Okay. Ola, it's leave the meeting.
Yeah, now I see it. Yeah. Yeah, to leave the room. So bye again.
Yeah.